Welcome back to the Auto Obscure Garage. Chadwick with you again for another installment of the Auto Experience series. That's our in-depth review series where we do objective, subjective, curb weights, acceleration times. It's not just me talking to the camera is what I'm trying to say. And today, we're in an awesome test subject. Definitely not a canyon carver. This is a 2008 Nissan Xterra off-road trim. Now that off-road trim is important on these second-gen Xterras. That's when it was introduced because it offers a locking rear diff, hill descent control, skid plates, different gearing in the rear diff, and some other touches that weren't on the other trim levels of the Xterra. So that's cool. This is the most off-road ready. The name is perfectly suited. Good job, guys. To that second gen Xterra. So started in 2005. Really, they didn't change too much of the formula. New motor, VQ40, punched out Nissan 350Z motor, cool power plant. All the second gen Xterras came with that motor. There wasn't even an option. There was no lesser trim. Sadly, no supercharged version like the first gen. But yeah, second gen really just took the formula of the first gen, kept the looks kind of the same, but butched them up a little bit. You still have your fender flares. You still have your bump out in the back for the first aid kit, which is an iconic trademark of the Xterra. Yeah, roof rails are still there from the factory with Xterra on them and the little storage box in the front on the roof. So, second gen Xterra. Why are we driving a 2008 Xterra? Well, this is my cheap overland challenge vehicle. Sub $5,000 was the category, and Xterras can be had all day in that price range. These things are an absolute steal if you want to build an off-roader on a budget that you don't feel too bad about beating up on the trails. Gotta look at these Nissan Xterras. They are super robust, they are really good off-road, and they are going for nothing. 3 to 6K can get you a pretty awesome running and driving vehicle. And you can't say that about any 4Runner TRDs. I'll tell you that right now. Is it on the same level? Probably not, but the aftermarket is there. They got a lot of support. Parts are cheap. They're easy to maintain. There's a lot of pluses, guys, if you're looking at an off-roader, to look at the Nissan Xterra. How do they drive? I think they drive pretty good. They drive like a truck. This is true body-on-frame construction here. Yeah, it's a good time. This thing will go anywhere. I'm building this more just like for overlanding, trail riding, going out to the fishing hole and back, and then if bad weather, going to Tahoe in the snow, putting four-wheel drive on and having a blast. So that's my goal with this truck, and I think I'm pretty much there. This thing is pretty solid. I like how it turned out, and it's a killer-looking truck. All right, that's enough yammering on about it. Let's get on to the objective tests. We've got the Xterra up on the scales. Let's get that curb weight and front and rear balance. At a little over 4,100 pounds, the Xterra is certainly not a super heavy off-roader. Definitely lines up with its mid-size category. How does this curb weight compare to other vehicles that I've personally weighed? Well, you can see it's between some pretty hefty stuff. The LS430 is a pretty large sedan. The Magnum SRT8 is an awesome wagon. But you can see here the Xterra is significantly lighter than a GX 470. So not a bad place to be for an off-roader. When looking at the front-rear balance of the Nissan Xterra, it's interesting to note that the rear has a little bit more of the weight. That's probably due in part to that bigger differential, the huge liftgate, the spare tires back there. So this truck holds a lot of its weight over the rear half of the vehicle. If you thought our Xterra was going to be slow like some of the other trucks I've tested, you'd be wrong. Look at these cars. Some pretty quick examples here line up right against it. That's fantastic to see. And with this VQ40 motor, I'm pretty sure I could get in the sevens if I launched it a little harder. Really impressive stuff out of an off-road truck. The Nissan Xterra is unabashedly a truck, and it's better for it. Nissan had the gall to actually build a proper body-on-frame truck during an age of softer SUVs. The second-gen Xterra drives exactly like it should, like a truck. Handling is not wallowy, but also not sports car precise. It carries speed quite confidently. It negotiates road imperfections like a truck, communicating them in an overly enthusiastic manner to the driver. That being said, its off-road capability is probably its strongest attribute, especially with this off-road trim. The Nissan Xterra is a fully legitimate off-road machine. Its power is more than adequate, especially in contrast to the older, more vintage trucks I'm usually driving around here. The inputs all match the demeanor of the truck, which results in a predictable and honestly enjoyable driving experience. Nissan again cut against the grain by pumping out a squared body stanced, bulky looking truck when the market was saturated with softer and rounder SUVs. And they killed this design. Building on the off-road image credits of the first gen, the second gen Xterra ups the testosterone with even more flared fenders and straight-edged body lines. The Xterra requisite roof racks and roof storage box, as well as the first aid kit bump out, return with this redesign. I find the Xterra to be a perfect blend of form and function, a personality that stands out in a crowded parking lot, but again, is purpose-built. Nissan delivered on the second-gen Xterra design. Let's keep the rugged aesthetics rolling as we jump into the Xterra cabin. Materials are highly textured and surfaces are blocky. The overall theme here is one that encourages you to find some wilderness and explore. No Euro design elements here, just task-built construction. Seating surfaces are coarse and deal with the ravages of time and adventuring quite well. Tech is minimally invasive, and only the essentials are being offered here. The double glove box design is pretty cool, and adds further to the already plentiful storage options within the Xterra. Controls are physical knobs, big, chunky, physical knobs, offering a tactile, heavy feedback when you use them. No sunroof, no heated seats, just a commanding seating position to guide this truck through some serious terrain without the distraction of technology to get in the way. Powering all second-generation Nissan Xterras is a formidable V6 plant. The VQ40DE is a 4-liter dual-overhead cam 24-valve V6 producing 261 horsepower at 5,600 RPM and 281 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. This all-aluminum engine is essentially a punched-out version of the 350Z's power plant. It's happy to rev and has a broad power band, making it highly adept for on- and off-road travel. Power is more than adequate for brisk acceleration times and prolonged highway speed travel. The torque coming in at a lower rev benefits off-road adventuring as well. The VQ40 is a stout power plant with many examples gathering hundreds of thousands of miles with routine maintenance. General maintenance items are widely available and affordable, lending further to the engine's penchant for longevity. The 5-speed automatic featured in this Xterra, yes, a 6-speed manual is an option, is really a workhorse. No issue-plagued CVT to be found here. All drivetrain components in the Xterra, especially the off-road trim, are quite stout and reliable. The rear diff has lower gearing, targeted at off-road adventuring. Two-wheel drive is the default setting with a low-range 4-wheel drive transfer case at the ready via a rotary dial. The off-road trim also adds a rear locking diff and hill descent control, all selectable through rocker-style buttons. It's in this beefy and overly capable drivetrain configuration that the Xterra gains its definitely earned off-road credentials. As a bonus, I'm not usually a fan of automatic gear shifters, but this big chunky boy in the Xterra really deserves some praise. It's so rewarding when you're clunking this thing through the gears. Is the Nissan Xterra the best deal in off-roading at this current time? Without a doubt it is. No analysis needed. The prices first and second gen Xterras are trafficking in currently is unbelievably low for the insane off-road capability offered up here. The Xterra is a robust platform able to go toe-to-toe with some serious off-road machines for a mere fraction of their price tags. It's reliable and easy to maintain. It looks the part with beefy bodywork and a no-nonsense off-road intent on clear display. Sure, Nissan fell on some really hard times not long after this model year, but don't let that bad reputation tarnish what came before. Nissan has a rich history of fantastic products. The Xterra is absolutely one of them that has yet to be fully recognized. If you're looking for an honestly off-road capable machine that won't break the bank, grab one of these Xterras now.